Hi, it's Steve Page here from Feed Central. I'm here this afternoon with Ken from AgEtal to discuss the issue of prussic acid and nitrates in forage crops for cattle and livestock producers. It's a time of year where we're getting quite a few stressed crops out there, and I'd just like to pass across now to Ken to talk about how the testing process is performed and what it entails.
Thanks, Steve. Both prussic acid and nitrate testing is important because they can kill animals very, very quickly. Prussic acid effectively is cyanide, and I don't think you need any imagination to understand how dangerous that is. Those symptoms normally come in when you've got very, very stressed plants, and that stress could be due to drought or frost, or I think even in the case of insect predation such as armyworm. We're right now in prime time for both prussic acid and nitrate toxicity to creep in. How you go about sampling in the paddock, I think it's important if those problems are there to pick them up. So find the plants that are most stressed in the paddock and sample those for both prussic acid and nitrate.
So Ken, we've got these in-field test kits that you've produced and Feed Central is now marketing. Can you tell us the advantages of the in-field test and the lab test?
The main advantage of the in-field test is immediacy. You can go out in the paddock today, you can take your samples today, and in half an hour you can have your results and be sure that your paddock is safe, or be left in a lot of doubt as to its safety if you get a positive result. I think that's probably the most important thing, Steve.
Yeah, so the one that's sent away to the lab really takes 10 days for that sample in the lab to get a result back too. And the issue there could potentially be that paddock could change in that meantime. Ken, can you explain when you've got those kits out in the paddock on how the process that you need to do there? What equipment do you need, and how do you sample it, and how long does it take?
The prussic acid test basically comes as a small test strip in a plastic bag. And what you do is you squash your sample, that's all your stress plants, into that plastic bag and seal it, but try and keep that test strip visible. You then need to heat it. If you get a color change after about half an hour, from a sort of a green-gray color to a deep purple-blue color with the prussic acid, that's a positive. And you need to get your cattle off or don't put them into that paddock. The best way to heat the bag, I find, is to leave it on the bonnet of a very hot car. With your nitrate test, and you can test either stems of sorghum or hay, you simply split the stems and you put a few drops of the reagent onto the split stem or onto the hay as is, and very quickly it should turn a deep blue color if it's positive. And again, if it does turn a deep blue color, get your cattle off or don't put them on. You might want to think about getting a lab quantitative test done to support any decisions you make beyond that.
So Ken, I've done a few of these tests in my time. Just wondering, sometimes you get a very quick result and sometimes it takes a little bit longer to come through. Is that an indication of the level in them?
Yes, it would be an indication of the level, but I certainly wouldn't be relying on it. If you get a positive, treat it as a positive until you've got better information.
So these test kits can be purchased through Feed Central. You can go online and purchase them, or you can give the office a call on 1300 669 429. Or if you have any other questions, call us on that number again, 1300 669 429. Thank you, Ken.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening today.